Hi, I'm Michael Carotenuto, back with another episode of National Prep Stars Run Your Region here on PassportplayasTV. Today, we are going to cover the northern section of California. And man, what a section we have for you. A ton of kids getting recruited, a lot of offers. But we're going to start with, the quarterbacks. Like I said, the most important position that they call it in football, trying to get that quarterback for the future. And in colleges all over the country love to come into California. And we're going to check out some of the quarterbacks from Northern California. We're going to start with a 6'3", 190-pound junior, Justin Lamson out of Oak Ridge High School. He's a three-star quarterback, first-team All-State, section champs he led his team to. Justin Lamson so far he's an offer from Idaho and interest from Nevada and Cal. It is a surprise, and a lot of people that cover Northern California football are pretty surprised he doesn't have more offers. Threw for 24 touchdowns, also rushed for 5 more. So Justin Lamson, again, a huge quarterback coming out of Northern California. And next we are going to go to a 6'4", 185-pound junior, Ari Patu out of Folsom High School. And man, what a 2019 Ari had. He completed 55.9% of his passes for only 853 yards, but he split time with Jacob Riethmeyer. But Patu, people saw him in 7-on-7s last year, and the game action he got this year, man, his footwork is absolutely awesome. He has 15 offers, 4.23 GPA, scored 1330 on his SATs, and at the recent Elite 11, before things were shut down for the coronavirus, he completely balled out. So 15 offers now. His senior year is going to dawn a lot more. This kid will have his pick of the litter. Our next quarterback up in the northern region of California is a 6'1", 190-pound junior, Dorian Hale from De La Salle High School. Hale, a 3-star quarterback, first-team All-League. He's got one offer from William and Mary. He threw for 2,047 yards last year, 17 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. He also rushed for 588 yards, averaged 7.7 a carry, rushed for 6 touchdowns. He's a quarterback in more so of a Veer offensive system, so he might not put up the biggest numbers, but man, what Hale has done at De La Salle, again, he's down to one offer from William and Mary, and I can see many more coming in for him. Again, it would have been nice through 7-on-7 to see, but I can definitely see more coming in for Hale next season at De La Salle. And last up for the quarterbacks, a 3-year varsity player is Eli Brickhandler, playing his senior year at Pittsburg High School. He was at Whitney High School 2018 and 2019. He had 2,259 yards passing and 18 touchdowns, did throw 11 interceptions, but man, you see this kid, and if he's given the time, he can just pick defenses apart. And this kid has a 3.5 GPA, a 2-star quarterback. When you see him on film, it's a kid that the arm strength and the way he can throw on the run. Man, if a play breaks down, yes, he can run, but same thing, he's not looking to run first. So I really like Eli Brickhandler. And for Brickhandler, again, just a very solid junior season, and we'll see what he can do his senior season to don more offers.
So we're going to start off with the best running backs in Northern California, and I think we're going to start off with the best running back out here, and that's Prophet Brown from Monterey High School. And I mean, wow, first off, what a cool name, Prophet Brown. That's a pretty cool name itself, but, you know, he's obviously, like I said, he's considered to be one of the best running backs in the state, and he has the offers to prove it too, with his top 6 schools, including Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Michigan. And over at Monterey Trail, they are actually the team that took down Folsom. He was obviously a huge part of that, included 12 yards per carry, a total of 11 touchdowns, and obviously he's a really quick player, excellent takeoff and power, and really explosive on the outside, has some really good hands too. So I mean, he's one of the best running backs in the nation because of that. Next, Jonah Coleman from Lincoln High School, standing at 5'8", 180 pounds, and 1,500 yards as a sophomore. He found the end zone 30 times. So, I mean, this kid, again, another workhorse. That's what this list has, the best of Northern California. He certainly one of them. The sky's the limit for him, you know. Lincoln had a phenomenal season. They were undefeated up until the last 2 games of the season, St. Mary's and Edison High School. And he's going to be the face of Lincoln football for the next 2 years. He has some pretty impressive film and has a really sick spin move, which is important, you know, to get past defenders. And he's used on special teams. So his versatility right there is really, really displayed on the show. And he has really good visibility as well when it comes to that. You know, I expect him to get a few Mountain West offers. You know, I think he would be an essential player on anybody's team. He's a very dynamic player and adds a lot of value. All right, next we got Kimoni Stanley from Sierra High School in Manteca, California. Stands at 5'8", 185 pounds, and his school won the San Joaquin D4 title over Oakdale, and they just came just short of winning the regional title versus Rancho Cotate. Stanley was such an instrumental part of that run, that playoff run. 2,224 yards and 33 touches. I mean, this guy was a workhorse on this offense. You know, he is small in stature, you know, but he's really tough to bring down. You know, looking through his huddles, some of his huddles had like 4 or 5 people tackling him, still wouldn't be able to bring him down. You know, he's a quick, elusive player, really strong player too. You know, he's going to have a really good senior campaign. I expect him, if they can play the full season, you know, Sierra's in really good position. So expect a lot of things out of this guy in the upcoming year. Next player we got up, Zeke Burnett from Elk Grove High School, stands at 5'10", 180 pounds. You know, Burnett transferred to Elk Grove from Capital Christian. Through 12 games he played at Capital Christian, he rushed for 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards per carry. And honestly, at Elk Grove, he's going to be a great fit. I personally got to see Elk Grove when they played Clayton Valley, and they played that wing T offense. And obviously, that's an offense designed for the running game. And obviously, when you get a running back like him, it's going to be so useful seeing him. He's a really quick player too. Recorded a 40-yard dash, so he has the speed to do that. You know, he's also has a really impressive takeoff and shock. I mean, the other thing too, this kid can block, which I think is an instrumental part of the running game, is to be a running back, because you need to block in order to do that stuff. And I think that's one of the most underrated aspects of the game.
Hey you guys, my name's Keshawn Ward. I'm going to talk about some of the best wide receivers in Northern California. We're going to start with Troy Franklin, 6'2", 170-pound wide receiver from Menlo, Atherton High School. Troy is the 4th-ranked wide receiver in the nation and 3rd in California. He has offers from national champions of the 2019-2020 season, the LSU Tigers, Alabama, Oregon, and University of Washington. In the 2019-2020 season, his stats were 43 receptions, 674 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. Troy has shown on film that he's a serious problem once he has the ball in his possession. His game resembles former Philadelphia Eagle and Kansas City Chief Jeremy Maclin. Next, we have the junior, Lu-Magia Hearns, who is 5'10", 160 pounds, who's a wide receiver from De La Salle High School. Lu has been on a rise since he stepped foot on De La Salle campus. After a promising junior campaign, Lu had 439 receiving yards, 29 catches, and 2 receiving touchdowns. The quick and swift playmaker displayed his playmaking ability in last year's North Coast Section playoffs against Pittsburg High School. He caught a short pass and took it 86 yards to the house. While on defense, he got a pick 6 in the same game. Lu has offers from Sacramento State, University of Idaho, and Lehigh University. Lu has a great chance to earn more offers as he has another year to get bigger, faster, and stronger. The next receiver we're going to talk about is the junior Tsion Nunnally, the 6'2", 175-pound wide receiver from Cardinal Newman High School. Tsion has grown a lot throughout his time at Cardinal Newman. His body frame has always been long, but now he's adding muscle mass, which could be a nightmare for his opponents in the near future. This powerful runner has not only shown he can run past the entire defense, but also could be depended on to make pivotal plays with contested catches to seal games, as he did against Placer High School. Nunnally had 45 catches, 770 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, 17 tackles, and 1 interception on defense. Nunnally has offers from University of Idaho, San Jose State, and has recently received interest from Sacramento State. Next, we have Jayden Marshall, 6', 180-pound wide receiver from St. Mary High School. With his older brother Jamar named receiving national recognition as a 3-sport-star athlete, Jayden made quite the splash when he played against Pittsburg High School, which is a Northern California powerhouse. Jayden was able to score 3 touchdowns, 9 catches, and 233 yards receiving, and he even made an impact returner in the game. After his sophomore campaign, he finished the season with 14 overall touchdowns, 1,128 yards receiving, and 68 catches. Jayden Marshall has offers from Arizona State and San Jose State. Marshall's young stellar career has only begun as he embraces the task to be the next great leader at St. Mary High School. Brock Bowers, who is a junior and he's 6'4", 225-pound tight end at Napa High School. Bowers definitely is one of the best tight ends in the nation by being ranked second and being fifth in California. This big specimen definitely passed the eyeball test, and he has shown the gridiron as well. It's not a surprise that Brock has offers from many Power 5 schools like Georgia, Cal, Clemson, Michigan, and Notre Dame. He had an amazing season by finishing yards short of 1,500 yards all-purpose, 18 overall touchdowns, and even averaged 122 yards receiving a game. Brock has shown that he's a truly all-around tight end by being able to track balls in the air and being a mismatch for defenders on the field and sustaining blocks for his offensive players.
First player we're going to go over here right now, probably the best defensive lineman in the entire Bay Area, is Akili Calhoun from Liberty High School, 6'4", 245 pounds. And I actually get to see him play firsthand because I covered the Bay Valley Athletic League, and he's one of the best players that has to offer right now. He was on a part of a really stacked Liberty team. He recently committed to Cal, which is really good to see that, Cal's really getting all of those local recruits to stay home. And I think that's going to be starting to see more trend and see a little bit of rise of Cal football. And it starts with a player like him. His head coach, Ryan Parge, describes him as a tough physical specimen that does his job. He hasn't come close to reaching what he can be in the size and freakish ability. So if you have his coach saying that about him, you expect a really good senior campaign from him. All right, so now we're going to move on to Jalen Weaver, Antioch High School. And get this, 6'7", 280 pounds. This guy has size. There's a lot of D1 size and, potentially NFL size one day. His size says a lot about him. It's tough to get him through opponents. His coach, Brad Dudley, who's been, one of the more respected coaches here in East Contra Costa County, says that, Weaver's one of the best athletes that he's seen in his 14 years of coaching. This is a guy that's coached Najee Harris, Isaiah Dunn when they were really good on that. So he also describes him as being, one of the most physical players out there and loves playing contact. Just looking at his huddle right here, he's going to do really good. And honestly, I think the future is all bright for this kid because he has so much talent, so much potential, just physicality right there, dominates through opponents, and he's going to be really good. It's going to go to a Power 5 school, and wherever he goes, he's going to dominate. Next player we have is Eric Branch Haynes, 6'3", 285 pounds, from Sacred Heart Cathedral. Didn't even win a single game, but still, on that defense, he was still one of the standout players and one of the better standout linemen in Northern California. He has offers from Dartmouth, so he gets it done in the classroom too, and Idaho. He spent some time on the shelf with some injuries earlier this year, played 7 games, but he came back and really impressed on the field. He's a huge run stopper, quick ability to get into the backfield. For his size, he's super quick to get back there. I honestly predict him to get a couple little bit more Mountain West offers from UNLV and San Jose State. His team also has to give him a little more contribution there because this guy's really good, but his team needs to win some games in order to get more people out there to watch him play. Next up, Elasia Gonbuer from Capital Christian High School. Stands at 6'4", 235 pounds. He's a 3-star recruit, and he has received already some offers from some really good Mountain West schools. That includes Fresno State, San Diego State, and a lot of Pac-12 schools are showing interest for him. And I honestly think that he's going to go the Mountain West route unless these Pac-12 schools who need to start showing him more love before it's too late. 13 tackles for loss on the defensive side, hits hard, and he's a good pass rusher, and his size itself certainly helps him a lot. One thing that he's talked about improving a lot has been his hand striking, an area that he wanted to work on and has owned his craft over the past couple months. Like I said, he's also a really good offensive lineman, so either way, at any position at the next level, I can definitely see this guy succeed.
Now we're going to talk about some of the best linebackers in Northern California. We're going to kick it off with junior Caleb Elarms Orr, the 6'2.5", 222-pound outside linebacker from Monroe Catholic High School. Caleb has been recognized as one of the elite defenders in the Mission Valley Athletic League. He earned honor of being unanimous Defensive Player of the Year in this year in his conference. Caleb's stats in the 2019 season were 65 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. Caleb has offers from across the Pac-12 and Mountain West with schools like University of Arizona, Stanford, San Diego State, and Colorado State. Next, we're going to talk about the junior, Dominic Oliver, outside linebacker from Valley Christian High School. Dominic Oliver was a pass rushing specialist for Valley Christian. He displayed his moves on his opponents with a dip and bend, jab and go, and flat-out bull rush from time to time. These moves are part of repertoires of pass rushers like Von Miller, Khalil Mack, and Geno Atkins. Dominic finished the season with 6'2 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, and 2 fumble recoveries, while one that were scoop and score for a touchdown. Oliver has offers from Kansas University, San Jose State, Utah State, and University of Nevada. He was recently offered by Wyoming. I believe with another year under his belt, he will bulk up for his future at the next level. Next, we have Moses Aladeo, the 6'2", 225-pound junior outside linebacker from Cosumnes Oak High School. Moses jumps out on film with his long arms. He consistently gave quarterback issues by batting the ball down 6 times this season. His total stats from the 2019 season were 84 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. Moses has offers throughout the Mountain West from schools like UNLV, Fresno State, San Jose State, and San Diego State. Last, and certainly not least, we have Will Schwitzer, the 6'4", 210-pound linebacker from Los Gatos High School, who's a junior. Will has received offers from various schools like Michigan State, University of Utah, University of Virginia, and even Princeton. Once you turn on Will's film, you will see why the 3-star athletes got him school's attention. He has a skill set where he can put his hand in the dirt, drop to curl flat, and has a relentless pursuit to the ball. Will even has the nerve to route up defenders on the offense. Receiving interest from an Ivy League school not only shows you excel in the classroom, but you're also aware on the football field. Will finished the season with 130 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 21 QB hurries, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery.
Back here on Run Your Region, the Northern California edition here on Passport Playas TV, and now we are going to get to the defensive backs, and man, do they have them in Northern California. We are going to start it off with the 6'1", 177-pound junior Vincent Nunnally. Will be playing his senior year at Freedom High School. He was at Encino last year. So far, 5 offers for Nunnally. Wyoming, San Diego State, Utah State, Fresno State, and San Jose State have all offered Nunnally. And at 6'1" as a corner, you love the length. Last year had 21 tackles, averaged 3 a game, but 5 interceptions for Nunnally, returned 1 of them for a touchdown, averaging just about 28 yards an interception return. So again, a ball hawk, but he's comfortable playing around the line too. Shutting down the run. If a team's running the ball, no problem coming from outside in to pressure a running back to cut back inside or come up and make tackles. But he's making plays. He can play in the bump and run, playing in coverage. Obviously the 5 interceptions, like I said. So Vincent Nunnally Jr. from Freedom High School. Next up, we do have the 6'2", 190-pound junior Caleb Higgins from Folsom High School. 22 tackles last year, 16 solo. So he's not afraid to get his helmet dirty. Had 4 tackles for loss, 1 interception that he returned it for a touchdown, 6 pass deflections. He caused 1 fumble, and he also blocked a punt. 9 Pac-12 schools that have offered him. So when you look at him on film, I mean, Caleb Higgins, again, reading the eyes, but it's just so quick. Again, it seems like he knows, like he was in the offensive huddle when you see him on film sometime, because you're like, oh, that's play action, and it's a run, and he already started coming up, and he's in on the tackle. And next up at corner, we have Arion Williams, a 6', 170-pound junior from Pittsburg High School. And when you see him on film, though, you can see his closing speed, man. That really pops, whether he's in coverage on somebody, if he has to track somebody down across the field or anything. But his closing speed, absolutely phenomenal. He will lock down a number 1 receiver. He'll chase down, like I said, anybody from the other side of the field. But the way he plants and comes up too, he is solid in the bump and run. Again, just your overall solid corner. I love Arion Williams. Again, I think this is a kid, again, borderline Power 5, but I think the offers really start to fly in once, probably about midway through the season next year, if he keeps continuing to grow as he has. But 6', 170 pounds, Arion Williams out of Pittsburg High School. And next at corner, we have another 3-year varsity player, is Justin Lynch, a 5'11", 160-pound junior from Dublin High School. He was the East Bay Athlete League First Team All-League DB and All Bay Area Honorable Mention. Legit 4.4 speed. Oh, I love his ball skills. He gets his head around very quick, reading the receiver's eyes. Receivers are trying to come back to the ball. He doesn't let him. He's inside him. He has a perfect downfield position. He will push them outside. If a ball's underthrown, he definitely is picking it off. I love Justin Lynch as a corner. He can play some safety too. I mean, that's the thing. If you have him back there, you can mix him up. And again, as all these guys can, but when you see these guys, what they do in bump and run, that's what separates them as corners. And Justin Lynch from Dublin High School, definitely right there. Shane Moran, a 5'10", 185-pound junior, again, a 3-year varsity player, 108 tackles, second on the team, 67 solo, 12 for loss, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, returned 1 for a TD. This kid loves to come up and pop people and send messages to running backs. So to me, Shane Moran, I could see playing in a Power 5 conference in football. It just depends if he wants to go a different route than playing baseball. He has committed to Long Beach State. As we move on to Robert Freehan, who's a 5'9", 150-pound sophomore, the only underclassman in this from El Cerrito. The speed as a sophomore. He's definitely a Division I prospect, hands down. I gotta think schools in California are gonna start offering this kid very soon next year. But yeah, I mean, he is just covering guys, shutting them down. You see his speed on special teams, making stuff happen. 7 punt returns, 4 touchdowns. So you need this kid on your team. And again, the offers are going to start flying in. The only, like I said, underclassman in here, and he's definitely going to be putting his name in for the top safety in Northern California for the next 2 years. Well, that is going to wrap up the defensive backs. Thanks again so much for tuning in to the northern section of California's Run Your Region. If you think you run your region or you're a top player in your area, leave your huddle in the comments section to be featured in an upcoming episode. So for all the guys, I'm Michael Carotenuto. We'll see you on the next episode of Run Your Region here on Passport Playas TV.